Hello there. Welcome to Gray Cloud's Thoughts. This is the second channel of Gray Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, and that's who I am. So, if you've watched anything, I know this is a small channel, but the few people that watch some of the videos, you know that a lot of what I'm trying to do here is more pop culture related. So I share a lot about comic books, or, and some of you've mentioned some of the type of movies. I could talk about some movies I like or other things and stuff, etc., etc. But also, I've wanted to make this a place where I can sometimes just share my thoughts of maybe something in the news or something online that I've seen. Or also, like today, I brought up the question yesterday on X. I mentioned that I have been feeling a little strange the past several days. And so I simply asked, am I the only person feeling this way, like a little off or a little melancholy? And there was a lot of different people that, maybe not a lot, but a handful of people that responded. They have felt somewhat down the past several days. They felt like something was just not right or some strangeness. So I just thought, it helped me to better understand that it's not just me right now. I think there's been some strange energies going on. You can call it what you want, but another friend mentioned this morning, there's been some activity with the sun and solar flare type stuff and things like that affect the atmosphere and the energy and frequencies here in our world. And I know that's true. I've studied or seen shows about that. I've watched videos about it. I've read books or articles on, how different solar flares and activities of the sun can be influenced, and it can influence the weather. It can influence certain energy in the air, which would also can influence our state of being. But someone else also suggested, they said it's coming up, it's Easter weekend, and opposing forces are setting up shop or trying to. And that made sense to me as well. I don't know what y'all's belief is or anything of that, but Easter is kind of a time of year, whether even in a non-Christian sense, there's a lot of stuff that was celebrated in this time of the year, like more like spring rebirth and stuff. But there are people and things that not necessarily want to see humanity succeed. The longer we're not succeeding, the longer it can feed off of that negative energy. And that's a parasite. It's like a consciousness parasite that finds its way around and tries to plant its seeds into people's minds. And, I've mentioned the 4 agreements, the 5th agreement, which is 5 agreements. Toltec wisdom stuff, that's kind of where I'm coming from for that. They call it a parasite. But if you can, at some stage of the Toltec journey, if you're capable of it, I don't know if I've done that yet. I don't think I have. But when the parasite becomes an ally, it's like you finally have conquered, like you're no longer subjected to that which it feeds off of. And in that phase of your journey, that will help, that makes the parasite not have power anymore. Then you're able to utilize it as a ally instead of a foe or whatever. It's like, it makes sense to me when I'm reading the books and stuff. But I'm just saying, whether you believe it or not, that explanation also made sense to me, because over the past several days, I even wrote something yesterday, I think it was. It was either yesterday or the day before, about a lingering entity or a lingering presence a haunting presence that's lingering. And I think I have felt something in the past few days that it's been lingering, and it's been watching me, and it's like, and it's not a good, I can't place my finger on it, but I feel like it's something that's, because things have been going pretty well for Gray Cloud over the past couple of months. There's been a couple of times I fell off the wagon and drank, but I got back on the wagon, and I've got, I'd say close to a month again without the last time, or from the last time that I had a day that I drank a little. But, that's not what this video is about. Is that things have been rolling pretty well. And I have mentioned this on my main channel, Gray Cloudy Day. I've mentioned that last year, it was more like in the summertime, but I fumbled the ball and screwed up some things and then made some poor decisions and got behind on where I was and the progress I was making spiritually and physically and mentally. And I had a setback. Part of it, I think, happened because I was kind of like going so hard at the YouTube thing and just uploading every single day and just random videos, and I was out and about, and I was doing a lot, and I was trying to juggle all these ideas in my head and not getting things precise and organized. But now I feel more at ease. I feel a little like I'm handling things a little better, and I'm aware that I need to learn a better pacing. So that's why with the second channel, I'm not trying to go real hard at it, but I am trying to upload a few times a week something that keeps the channel rolling. And, I've said this before, once we get to 100 plus subscribers, I'm going to start doing a little more with the channel and probably some live streams that we'll talk about pop culture and fun stuff. But so I just wanted to share with you guys that, I think about things on a deep level quite a bit, and everything I've learned in my life, and I don't know if you know that, but everything is based on frequencies and vibrations. Like, everything's vibrating atoms. Like, the physical world isn't really physical. It's an illusion. How do we pull that veil away and be able to see through it? Most often we're not going to be able to, but occasionally I've caught the glimpse of it. That's why sometimes I can tell when something I think it's not rooting for me is what I'm getting at. It would rather me give in to a thought of, well, I don't like the way I'm feeling. I can't explain the way I'm feeling, so I'm going to go get a drink. And that has been the struggle also for the past couple of days, because it enters my mind and then I have to quickly push it out. And I haven't acted on it. So I'm really like, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a victim. I'm just meaning I can sense when it wants me to be in a negative mindset, a negative space. Because when I'm in a negative space, it thrives. The same with any human being. That's what the parasite feeds off of. It's feeding off the negativity that you find yourself in some of the days. And some of that negativity you bring upon yourself is just by seeing everything that goes on in the world, paying too much attention to the wrong things. Or sometimes I've just been around certain types of people and I could just feel the uneasiness. Not that they were necessarily bad people, but they just always had something chaotic going on. They were good people at heart, but their life was so chaotic that when you were around it, it would flood into your own life. And I do good enough just to take care of my own stuff and try to keep my head in the right place and maintain some sort of sense of sanity. But I appreciate y'all listening to me. And if you have any feedback, tell me if you've been feeling a little strange the past several days. And if you want to go into any detail, feel free to do that. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good day. And let's try to make this Saturday before Easter a good one. And if those weird feelings and kind of like off feelings come at some point today, let's push them away. Let's say, in the name of all that is holy, get behind me, go, leave, throw out, burn some sage, burn some incense, say some things, tell it to get out of your life. That's what I got to do. Till next time, Mr. Grey Cloud, Sage of the Eternal Moment, over and out. Ditto.